Welcome to Daybreak. I'm Joe Young, manager for the Village of Oxford. Joe Frost, DDA Executive Director for the Village. So we're here to share with you updates and things happening in our community. And Deb Uren, the president of the Chamber, couldn't be here today, so we'll just highlight a couple of things coming up for the Chamber. Of course, they're going to be having their Women's Expo this Sunday, so this will be after the showing that this will have taken place. But they've been moving that to Sunday, so I hope we had a chance to take that in. They got Independence Village of Waterstone's going to have open house coming up. Oh no, they're kind of a document, I'm sorry. On November 6th, Sunday at 6 o'clock, about the age of love, and shows how 30 older adults have navigated the speed of dating event of 70, 90-year-olds. So it should be an interesting time there in Indian Village. Goddard School, before then, is on Thursday, October 27th, is hosting an annual trunk or treat, event. That's from 6 to 7:30. That's at 55 Gateway Drive in the parking lot. There'll be decorated trunks to do some early trick-or-treating. Wear your costumes. You can RSVP at 628-6268. So it's Goddard Schools. That's a Thursday, October 27th from 6:30 to 7:30. We've got our Mix and Mingle coming up for the Chamber on Wednesday, October 26th. It's at Paint Creek Country Club. Again, Mix and Mingle, Wednesday, October 26th. That's from 5 to 7 p.m. at Paint Creek Country Club. And then we have some ribbon cuttings coming up. Century 21 at 850 South Lapeer is going to have a ribbon cutting on November 10th at 4:30. And Goddard Schools is going to have a ribbon cutting on November 17th at 4:30. So lots of things happening in the Chamber, new members coming on board, and they say that their Women's Expo event this past week. So I want to change over to Joe, and he can share with you some things going on in the DDA.
Sure. We just got done with our annual Scarecrow Festival.
Great.
As many of you know, we had to postpone it because of the weather. It was originally scheduled for October 1st, but the weather was looking like 80% rain, and
Yes.
we made the decision the Friday, the day right before, to postpone it. And fortunately, it went off without any hiccups. So the Scarecrow contest, there were 3 scarecrows that won in the contest. One for the most traditional was a scarecrow named Mr. Wilson, which was done by Isla Chambers. She's a young lady, she's about 8 or 9 years old, resident of Denison Street. She actually put this scarecrow in a wagon and wheeled it over the day of the festival. Most traditional went to her. Most creative went to a scarecrow out at Clear Lake Elementary School. The local Daisy Scouts put together a scarecrow called Daisy Dot the Mermaid, or something along those lines. Homegrown Brewing Company got the best recycled. They used a keg. The keg was the belly of the scarecrow, and the name of the scarecrow was Beer Belly. As far as the chili cook-off went, we had 4 contestants. We had Witches, Victoria's, Sullivan's, and the Ox Bar and Grill. And the people got to choose. The people got to vote. And that came with a prize. The prize is a base about this big with a crow sitting on top of a pumpkin, and then there's nameplates for each year. And so Victoria's won that prize, the top prize for the People's Choice, knocking out Sullivan's. Sullivan's was reigning champ for 2 years, and now Victoria holds that trophy. The Judge's Choice, there were 3 judges that were selected by our committee, and David Lamb, president of Oxford Bank, Curtis Wright, Oxford Township Clerk, and Brian Cloutier, the library director, and they got samples of each of the chilies, blind taste test, and they had to narrow it down to 1, and their selection ended up being the Ox Bar and Grill.
Great.
Right there on Centennial Park. So that is the 2nd year running that the Ox Bar and Grill has won the Judge's Choice. So if you're interested in chili, now is the time of year to eat chili, and we certainly have, all of the chilies were amazing, don't get me wrong, but these were the ones that were the favorites. So want to thank again our sponsors for that event, Oxford Bank, Oxford Farm and Garden, Burdick Street Landscape, the Den Training Academy, Merge Art Studio, Goddard School, Granite Home Design, Century 21 affiliated, the Oxford Tap, and Ackett's Pies. It was a great opportunity, and thank you to Pastor Matt Schuler at Holy Cross Lutheran. He did some emceeing for the event, and you know, great opportunity to hear some humor from Pastor Matt, especially as the pies were being eaten during the pie eating contest.
Quite an activity there.
Quite a lot of activity. It was a great turnout. The businesses said it's probably one of the bigger turnouts that they've seen in some time. So the weather really helped, of course. It was beautiful. So next week, the Girlfriends Walk is happening in downtown Oxford, October 26th. That's Wednesday. It happens from 5 to 9 p.m. starting in Centennial Park. This event is planned and coordinated 100% by a group of women-owned businesses in the downtown area that collaborate on this. They do a charity as part of the event, and that charity is Love Inc., and shoppers are encouraged to bring donations of gently used hats, gloves, or brand new underwear, socks for women, men, and children. So this goes to help out the Love Inc. organization. The first 200 ladies to bring donations for that evening at Centennial Park will get a free Girlfriends Walk canvas shopping bag. So for more information, visit thegirlfriendswalk.com or the Girlfriends Walk on Facebook. Anna Taylor at Pink and Charlie is the one that really heads this up. And there's a number of women-owned businesses that come together to put this on. So it's great to see our merchants collaborate on something like this to build more visibility downtown. The next DDA-sponsored event will be the Soup and Sweet Stroll. That's Friday, December 2nd from 6 to 9 p.m. We will have our tree lighting. Santa Claus will be coming down all the way from the North Pole to visit downtown. We'll have warming barrels. Talked to DPW this morning. They got all the wood cut and ready to go. We'll have a petting farm, and then as the name implies, we will have soups and sweets. Very good. You stroll the streets of downtown Oxford, tasting the various soups and sweets along Washington Street. So for more information, downtownoxford.org, and more information is under our events tab. And stay tuned for more details as it gets a little closer. We will flesh out even more details. We just recently had our Main Street tech visit with Main Street Oakland County and our vision session, and I'll talk a little bit more about that after our break.
Sure. Well, one thing too, while we're on the events, don't forget that Halloween is Monday, October 31st, and trick-or-treat time is from 6 to 7:30 p.m. So 6 to 7:30 p.m. on Monday, October 31st, Halloween. So with that, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Daybreak. Joe Young, Joe Frost, and we were just talking about the DDA visioning plan we just had taking place.
Yeah, as many of our viewers know, our DDA operates on the Main Street approach. So Main Street is a historic preservation-based model for downtown development. And as such, Main Street Oakland County is our coordinating program. So they give us technical assistance. They help us with, design assistance for facade grants, amongst other things. But this year we did our tech visit with them. Actually, just last week we talked about visioning with the board. And a couple weeks ago, we had a couple of public input sessions as well as a survey running to get some input from the community. And they're going to compile all this in addition to the data from the survey and market data into a report that we're anticipating. One of the biggest things that came out of the public input sessions was the desire to see downtown, and really more the traditional part of downtown, the older buildings, that area, more walkable. We have a great downtown. We have a lot of amazing historic architecture and historic character and charm. But one of our dilemmas is the walkability, and a lot of that has to do with the traffic and M24 and so forth. But there's things that we can do as a community and as a downtown to help mitigate some of the noise and some of the traffic. And so one of the things, like I said, that came out of that was a desire to see more walkability. So there's going to be an opportunity to expand on that idea, and we're really waiting to see what the report says. There was a consultant that Main Street brought in, Jeff Ziegler. He was the state of Ohio Main Street Program coordinator for many years, so very knowledgeable in downtowns, and he was really impressed. We took a walk through downtown. He was really impressed with our downtown, but he did say, gosh, you have a great downtown, except for the traffic.
Right.
And so we're going to address some of those things with MDOT, especially as the M24 project gets underway in the next year.
Well, the traffic calming is our goal.
Traffic calming,
slow them
that's
down,
right.
and
slow them down, maybe
noise.
get some more lights, get some more crossings for pedestrians, and kind of go from there. So, and that all plays into my next point, which is economic development. We get more people into the downtown, you boost the shops, you boost the businesses and so forth. So we do have on our webpage, downtownoxford.org, under the business tab, an available properties list. There are properties available in downtown Oxford. 21 North Washington is for sale or lease. So if you're a small business owner who is looking for a space to expand, or you just haven't taken that leap yet, you've been thinking about that small business idea you've had for years, but just haven't done it, get in touch with the DDA. We can point you in the right direction. Oakland County has a number of free resources to help you with startup plans, business plans, or even refresh your business. And so there's some opportunities for locating in downtown. 21 North Washington, 27 North Washington is for sale. 33 North Washington is for sale. That's a great opportunity if you're an investor, because that has a long-term lease with Vendetti's Pizza. Upstairs is also an apartment that is for lease. 15 North Washington, if you have a big dream, there is a vacant piece of ground right in the heart of downtown that we'd love to talk to you about. 40 North Washington, the former site of Lulu's Fish Market, is available as well. So those are just to name a few. Dave Weckel's project is moving forward.
Yes, it is.
There was a meeting just recently with the engineers and all the players to talk about site plan and where does engineering happen and drainage and so forth. And so, in talking to Dave, it sounds like groundbreaking may be in the spring. And so stay tuned for that. There will be brand new spaces available, whether you're looking for downtown residential condo or downtown office space or downtown retail. The buildings that Dave is building are going to have all of those amenities. Becker's Eye Care is under construction. You can see the progress that's being made on that. Stone facades are going up and all that. And then the microbrews. They are working hard. They've got the hammers going and the construction is underway. They were stalled a little bit for one reason or another, but I talked to John Powers of Homegrown Brewery the other day. His brewing equipment is ordered, it's ready to go, and they're just waiting for the right steps to fall into place with the construction crews. So all that is taking place.
The Oxford Tap too, their expansion is moving right along too, getting that happening. So hopefully by the first of the year we'll have 3 new businesses, so if all
new
goes
bus-
well,
yeah,
or
yeah.
shortly thereafter. So that's exciting, and the Daybreak project, which is an awesome development there. So, and while we're on developments, the village has a proposal that's been submitted by Venture Ultra for a high-rise building for mixed use for senior and commercial, retail, and office. There's going to be a meeting, a public presentation on Thursday, October 27th at 6 o'clock at the Emmanuel Congregational Church at 1 Hovey Street, just a block away from the village offices. And the proposed developer, Ultra Venture, will be there to present the concept and what they're proposing to look at, having 3 stories of building up 3 stories on the village property. That would be senior housing, some at affordable, and others could be at market. They'd also be renovating the offices for the village and the police department, and also adding and expanding from a commercial office and retail that could accommodate the DDA and the chamber and other businesses. So it's an exciting opportunity. And again, that meeting is this Thursday, October 27th at 6 o'clock at the Emmanuel Congregational Church at 1 Hovey Street. So,
And this is a good opportunity to just gain some knowledge about this before they start the formal process, just informational sessions. So to let the public know.
Might get their feedback on what they think about the plan. It's quite striking, quite a change. A compliment on the other side with the Daybreak project, which are 2- and 3-story buildings as well. So a lot of exciting things going on. We are promoting our 98 Glassby property. That's still being pursued for development, preferably housing, but there's some other opportunities being considered there as well. And along with our economic development, NODA is looking at getting a trolley running during the good weather seasons, and that's going to be up on the NODA agenda again this week to see how that's progressing, because we'll need to get sponsorship to get that happening, and it's about a $58,000 vehicle investment, but another $50,000 to maintain the operation of that. So that'll be discussed and pursued further. So we'll keep you posted on how that's progressing. So we'll close this session and we'll come back with some more updates for you. Thank you.
Thanks.
To pose, now shush. She makes the sound she makes to calm me down. She makes the sound she makes needy. She makes the sound she makes needy in the North Sea.
My name is W. Ripto with the Addison Township Fire Department. I'm a lieutenant here. Today, we're going to be talking about address signs. In an emergency situations, you don't want to have to give us directions. If we can't find you, we can't help you. The address signs are $15 a piece. They can be displayed vertically or horizontal. So this is the setup process for how to create the address signs. When you order your address sign, you call the phone number there, tell us what your address is, and we'll make the sign up for you. And this is the simple process to create it. You put the template over it, you set the numbers in place, you take off the sticky backs, make sure everything looks correctly. This is my address, 1262, and it can go on the front side, both sides, the front side and the back side. So that is how you would set up your address sign.
Do you love local sports? Whether it's Oxford High School or Parks and Rec, you can buy copies of each game. To purchase your copy, call us at 248-628-9658 or give us an email at manager@occtv.org or talk to us at the next game. Hopefully we'll see you there.
Welcome back to Daybreak. Joe Young, Joe Frost. We were just talking about the proposed development concept plan for the mixed use at the meeting next week. And we also got some exciting new thing coming in the Pollyant Trail. They're going to be looking at putting wayfinding signs here that are part of the Iron Bell Trail system. That's a statewide system that goes from Belle Isle to Iron Mountain up in the Upper Peninsula. And part of the Pollyant Trail is going to be included in that Iron Bell. It starts at Clarkston Road, goes north to West Burdick, and heads out west. And this sign we're looking at putting on one at Clarkston and then one at the Pollyant Trail on West Burdick. That's funded by a $15,000 grant that we received from the Iron Bell Trail program. So we're excited about getting that put in place before the end of the year. So that's an exciting thing going on and happening with our trail. We do have a new trail manager. Linda Moran just started this past month and had our first meeting this past week. She did a great job with keeping things updated, and we did recognize a charter member of the Pollyant Trail going back to 1997 when the Pollyant Trail Management Council started. Ed Brakefield is leaving, and they gave him a nice plaque with a railroad tie in it, because as you know, the Pollyant Trail used to be a railroad bed. So we had a nice program for him and nice signs, and Linda's doing a great job. We had the zombie run this past 2 weeks ago, and the weather was good. It was not a great turnout as we'd hoped, but it was a great event, and everyone there had a good time, and hoping to look at make that bigger and better every year, and looking to add more events as well. Maybe a sleigh ride event up at the Addison area, and have an event here in Oxford, and then Orion, because that's where the trail goes through, is Orion, Oxford, and Addison Township. So we're excited about those things happening with our new trail manager, Linda Moran. One thing we did want to mention too before we leave today, but the election is coming up Tuesday, November 8th. But you have the opportunity to absentee ballot, and would encourage you to do so. Just fill out a form, turn it in the township, and they'll mail you your ballot, because the ballot is very long. There's a lot of items. As a matter of fact, in the village, it's 2 pages long because of not only the election of positions, but also the number of proposals that are on the ballot. And we have township election and village council elections as well. So there's a lot on there, and it'd be advisable to you to fill out a form. All you have to check is, I'm expected to be absent from the community during that time, because you never know, you might be called out, or if you're over 60, or there's several other reasons. But certainly encourage you to do that rather than wait till that day, November 8th. Wait in line and then have to go through and make decisions, and especially all the number of items that are on the ballot.
And are sample ballots available?
Yes, they're online. They're also at the
see
village
those, yeah.
office.
Yep.
But there's the Regional Transit Authority proposal for millage. There's the Parks and Rec bond issue proposal on here. There's the school millage. Then there's 6 proposals from the Village of Oxford. And then there's a proposal also to authorize the selling of 2 acres of vacant land off of Dayton Street for voters of Oxford to consider. And as I mentioned, the school millages, there's 2 of those. And we have township board member elections and village council elections, both at 4-year and 2-year terms. So be sure to go out and vote, get your ballot, absentee ballot. You can get it up till the Saturday before the election. So you've got time, but don't wait, because there's a lot to take in and understand there. So with that, we're going to move on to a different topic altogether. The state recently passed legislation to allow for the licensing of 5 different components of medical marijuana, which include the growing, the manufacturing, the transporting, I can't remember now, testing. So there's 5 different possibilities of businesses that could come in to any community, and it's all up to each community to determine if and to what extent they would allow any of these 5 types of businesses related to medical marijuana. The Planning Commission is going to be deliberating on that, and then the Village Council. So if you need more information on that, just give us a call at the office, or stop in, or check online. There's a lot of information going on. It's a long-term process. I think it's like 9 months before it actually can have any licenses issued, should there be any considered. There is a revenue component to that. There will be a 3% state charge on that, of which any community that participates will get a certain percentage, 0.6% of any businesses that they might consider licensing in that area. So big topic that the Planning Commission and Village Council will be addressing as well coming up. The other thing I want to mention too, coming up on November 30th, the village dispatch system will be transferred from local dispatch to Oakland County dispatch, similar to what is now our township fire department, and of course the sheriff is through the sheriff's dispatch, of course, but the fire department has been on there for a couple of years now. The village of Oxford and the village of Lake Orion are transferring their dispatch services to Oakland County on that November 30th date. So that's going to save the village approximately $200,000 once we get this implemented in transition. So we're helping our situation there and be better coordinating our dispatch services. So we're looking forward to having that change take place on November 30th. And we've got our council elections, we got an election coming up, we got lots of business development going on. The one big project coming up in 3 years is our M24 reconstruction project, and I know we're looking to have some stakeholder meetings.
Yeah, we're going to have some stakeholder meetings after the first of the year. So MDOT is still doing all their traffic analysis and all that because of the construction that has happened north of town and south of Lake Orion. You know, the traffic numbers are not normal right now. So MDOT has said once that's all done, then the design firm AECom will work with the community. We'll have some stakeholder meetings. So the DDA has already began to think ahead. One of our committees has taken a field trip to Saline to see downtown Saline as they go through their current process. Same idea, complete rebuild, and how their Main Street program has worked together there. And we've also put some money back already. So we've restricted $110,000 of DDA funds, $100,000 to match an eventual grant for the streetscape improvements. That means, you know, what do the benches and the trees and the lamps and all that look like? And then $10,000 for marketing purposes to ensure that the businesses get marketing and you know, downtown will still be open for business.
Right.
And so this is still a couple years out, and so the plan is that the DDA will continue to restrict additional funds as available for this fiscal year and future fiscal years, so we can make our match for the grant that we will eventually apply for. So we're going to put together a task force, is the recommendation coming out of our economic restructuring committee for the DDA, and we're going to be looking for people like you, residents, business owners, people who want to see downtown not only go through this process but improve and determine what it looks like and how do we maintain our businesses through this process. So still more details to come.
Yep.
And Main Street Oakland County, it's really good timing. Main Street Oakland County on November 2nd is holding a workshop because there are a couple other communities that are facing a similar project not too far down the road, no pun intended. So they've got a workshop. There's a couple communities that are going to be presenting. Farmington is one of them. They just recently went through the process and what that means. So stay tuned. MDOT will be redeveloping the M24 corridor, rebuilding, I should say, the M24 corridor in the not so distant future.
Yeah, 3 years from now. So, well, with that, we're going to close our Daybreak show this week and wish you a great week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There's a lot of history to Oxford. Hidden around every corner, deep in every crack, and sometimes right in front of you, waiting to be discovered. If you just dig a little, you'll find the great history of our beautiful town. Welcome to Historic Oxford.